Mr. Lynch, lives or will be live forever. Good morning, Mr. Simple, or simply, 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 or simply. Oh, simply that it's January 27th. So only 5 days to the end of is January 26th, also the festival is on the year. So as this is the last Tuesday of 2026, and it's Tuesday, in fact, ieri in Naples, it seems yesterday totally clear sky, the atmosphere in general, and it also seems that now perhaps the same time also with the wine cold and heavy, considering also the period, not cold and heavy perhaps today, but general cold and heavy, and it's early afternoon 13 and 46 minutes. 55 and 4 Fahrenheit 13 Celsius, in minutes it's really cool, like in easy minutes. In fact, what the classic adjective is for the winter period, so starts to fresh, così si dice che c'hanno for the association 17 non effect we overcome for the with the process kada passo per esame in generale esame se perhaps we know remember if they follow the meaning number for example think of body so that we overcome for the with the process as a graduate now also for the winter overcome the results in December 21 in particular 16 4 or 4 p.m. 3 p.m. in Italy, where as perhaps remember think of body was born I'm sure, attuale sì, dovrebbe sì, su senza purpose, in fact, vi ho scelto, cioè, io aspetto non perhaps per farmi, e quindi adesso noi entro la position for the spring exam Newton's, fa quello spring soft, the adjective soft, per esame degli adjective hot, for avuto, once again, adjective soft, notas in genere. Sono notas in genere, for the capire, sa, classificati di visa, ti visto il mio, a fine così, a fine, tu hai da absurdo, un complimento, no, consigliando il video, it's winter, it's cold, so we should do complain, it's the contrary, we should do complain in general, but when it is sempre assoluto, you can complain, I'm very feeling this fair to me, particularly perhaps this period, because this period I don't feel cold less than other period, and so says of practice, where to practice, doing following some minutes, which I will self for cold, and so practice when it comes winter weather reports period, when it comes winter period, or winter weather reports period, I always try to comment and check the speed. Utare su praxis, in this case I wrote it in first part of first comments of on someone is interested, first part of the comment translate con in fact utare su praxis, but non fosse la più, non think of notes, in fact I feel cold, non let think yes or no is spend time, but I think 20-25% I feel cold. Or in general in some way for me also good. Or even in general in some way for me also good. Stia, ma ti scatto sotto in general I think I can say something just for it's really good, at least it seems I can be feel some finish this. Ingrid after non finché te ne presupposi si servizi ci fuori for fare 13 Celsius. Ah, l'importante questa mozzina te ci vedi. So today we have it's beautiful. Oscar sono medest inflazioni transmission in Los Angeles c'è in particolare because still behind because there's still behind the bus now it's three things for later when it come out fact that the first thing is fact that for the Simon instructor for the singer for the Simon instructor what the film the classico come quello song o sulle mie because think it's became a bit of man non resta passare tra non rimane fede quello mio non spazziamo finché fuori so malato sola più bello di oh solo mia sta in fronte a te oh solo mia sta in fronte a te sta in fronte a me sta in fronte a te si fa che musica sta facendo in mente e si sta Second thing, like the shoe is a come out to be told, a beautiful sunshine, ma sublime, indeed a sublime sunshine, and since this is the thing, facts impossible, the persona di che si possono beauty actis, non che si sunshine, che si alla via Antilano, sono scatti, si pozioni pio, c'è giocare a Borne, si mette su, sono la stessa 2 ottobre, quando va before un sector, viene non for 9 days, sono in Sky for pratically 3 hours and an half, it's more or less 35 minutes more or less, max more or less in comparison with the other competitive fresh good. Well, so sì, tipo, quindi ti sa dal medico, quindi sono curtini, si tratta di tutti i nostri corsi, non sono i corsi di sicuro, a parte un solo, there are always wearing, there are always the curtini, si tratta di repeat, and only difference the color and flowers in front of themselves, the color of the first curtain was, the color of the previous, was curtain second was yellow good, the color of the first one was pink, and this is not simple. And this if it's not similar to the first color of pink, we are really close, so I don't know if you can identify this well, in fact, I'm certain I'm being, if you yes. Or if not, even better, cioè il better is shot perché the first part of the video which Veruca showed you the scatter St. James classical from this mythical window in this mythical room. You can see on the other mythical window, the other classical mythical window, the other classical mythical room. But however, as used in the room, so from the window, no active in France, long class mix between bands, in curtains and strong one, curtains of one, so bush in particular, is all very curtain, beautiful grey curtain, only puso for photos of the noise, so the beautiful grey curtain, beautiful paint of the benches, to repair the parts from previous curtain factory, no things written to remit as you read. Fact, also, if you want to comment section, should be the point at the first comment, perhaps for two comment one, and then the comment section, you should see. It really well from a shot, practically the same shot showed you for them. This curtain before, just before, and first part of video which Bruce showed you weather scatter St. John. In fact, the other classical, or this classical mythical window, the classic mythical window in the other classical mythical room, or in this classical mythical room. Or for a broader perspective, also this other paragraph is the shot similar to the classical shot film more than 30 ago for the previous curtain beat before the benches, perhaps also for the first curtain in order to the words the color the curtain if I'm remember exactly surely color curtain still in cover image channel when they sono in time and also saying this is shot to sorry the effect buff when the reason that shoot and lose this tomorrow when the reason for graphics image and see the latest picture center so che for the curtain beat before curtain the benches also get perhaps for the curtain color curtain so che don't exactly. And now I see already two sentences for this curtain, sorry, but repeat expressions for times, and it's latest picture sentence it is, but also and always better visible for me in its entity. In this shot, at this point, is mythical legend shot. Secretly, we're shooting new activities, but 15 minutes activities first days of last October, it's important to because the importance that also days of activism. And now also the little speech sentence used for the curtain, also for it because also is valid also for it, so I repeat once again, but also and always better visible for me, it's integrity, in the shot, at the second mythical legend shot. And finally, from me goalkeeper Ajax in 40 PG. Se questo devi fare also sì che si smia, già shot. Ma mettiamo da più lo facciamo, poi si capite che tu eri, non sono buone, mi si sta. So myself across the skies, and finally I hope you got breakfast. This late journey also nice for me my first time for maybe in Summer 31 in this occasion for the first time. It's late in January I'm all for the record, but not to for me because for me it's also a kind of normality to make breakfast me at this hours. Same time it's late, but all important is to fare for the record, ci sono sembrano di tutto stare in fact breakfast. Fientene si mette ristatuita. Fientene in parte, vabbè, tinki milk, fientene in parte metti resto così, su che tre così sia. Stesso straccio tu ripeti ora tu ricorsi di carriera lei torso non si mette un otto morno negli esseri se gira sfifo just for all oggi just in quote 13 46 minutes but the important thing is that in some way also they fortunate so I'm really young that's how we always say e che fa sono most building for absolutely as you know since most maniera I think more than 1 year now. As always lost the thing like effect of the X from on Friday. It was the secretion more than 5 weeks of 5 Friday ago. During that weekend, as it was the 5th result, so the reports beautiful black, red, and so white, that 5th body comparison with the players, and all things that don't follow in particular. No, I think body Friday is what the report yes. Yes, but repeat video should be a period, the time should be this. I promise you at 1 day or 1 time, so I should participate presidente degli stati di Sinistra, per gli speech for the shot of presidente si gioca su tutto il bazzomani, ma sto ne mazzando solo, pensavo visto sempre fare meno sul combo sul in fact I'm maybe sul combo sul biscuit and siast, think to one minutes until the same types of biscuit fact, the chocolate chip così, o da cui si chip chocolate chips. Fatto mi spiego, guarda forse ho fatto biscuit, mi si dice. But in particular, not things that was read, and this is songs but milk facts no shot anche di coffee, but also chocolate for così da shot at peso. Shot the main specific nonsense. Se che se lo so conci mi lo so conci mi si dà di via sono intention per better questo man is quick to finish. Now this one thing is titolo and I think 201 2 days se che se lo so conci mi si dà di via sono intention per better. And since that moment the day patron set it once again milk so very curious. Un indizio also fact che cosa breakfast su sta bomb sta in particolare mega bomb mi fosse che se sti per gioco su tutto un basso mania su questo modifico tutto sta aspetti per e inizia come su queste toll di cose breakfast su questa mega bomba se contiene su qualsiasi fact inferiore si sta la core and si ragazzi mi sta sempre in posizione perhaps also che segue di bam attingere un ultimo posizione because attraverso questa posizione minerale in terra bam dark chocolate chip series fa cosa a come nel mondo because è really super bar. Ah sì, tomorrow si può fare perché non ti tomorrow avuto con lui lepe. Ma why sì. Repeat if it's not visible, sun, generally in particular, also things, repeat things for later, but yes, repeat things for later, that in fact I said before, for last time, in fact, jewelry such a come to be not only a beauty, but indeed a sublime such an sense, fact, possiamo vivere la chiesa, tu che si scende, che siete.